I was on mute for a second. Glad I caught that before we got too far along. Welcome to the Verdin Verdict Sports Show. I'm your host, Jacob Verdin. Let's do a quick practice report. I know we're doing the highlights. I know we've been putting them out there consistently for you. Guess what? We're doing it again. We got them uploading right now. Got all the videos finished. We got about 14 minutes of highlights for you. We got one-on-ones between wide receivers and DBs. Then we're going to give you an in-depth look at the defensive line. Going to tell you about the personnel that I think Bo Davis should throw out there, who to expect, who's a underrated prospect, so to speak. Then we got an in-depth look at the DB room, your combos, your personnel, your rotations for that as well. We'll continue to be covering LSU's practice all week long. We'll have another practice highlight video after today on Wednesday, but tomorrow on Tuesday, we're going to go in, take some notes, no videos, viewing only day, but we're going to be getting probably the most in-depth information we have yet. So I'm going to go live again tomorrow. I know we go live Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Guess what? You're getting a treat per the Verdin Verdict. You're going to get another live stream where we give you a practice report. But like I said, LSU football practice highlights coming out in about 20 minutes. Right when we end the stream, we're going to be dumping that up. We got our guy Seth in the chat. What's going on, Seth? Hope you're having a good one, man. Thanks for joining the stream. And thank you to everybody else who's been, tapping in, showing some love. I appreciate it. We're growing the community. We're going to keep doing it. First things first, let me tell you the big takeaways that I have from practice. Number one, Kyron Lacy's looking elite. And there's been a lot of questions as to if Kyron Lacy can fit the bill. Is he going to be wide receiver one? Can you expect this? Can you expect that? A lot of doubters. There's been a lot of, understandable doubters as well. I'm not going to sit here and say you shouldn't have doubted. It's a big shoes to fill. You got two elite wide receivers that left last year in Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas, and a lot of people were skeptical on if Kyron Lacy can fit into that level, that echelon of wide receivers. I'm here to tell you, let's put the skepticism to bed, all right? Because what he's been doing through the past couple of days, it's impressed me. It's made me think that he's going to fit the bill. It's made me think that he's elite. It's made me think, quite frankly, he could be one of the best wide receivers in the SEC. I know that's saying a lot because you got Luther Burden, you got Trey Harris, you got pieces all over, whether even Isaiah Bond. But Kyron Lacy has really been performing well. So shout out the Thibodeau native. Shout out 95, represent. I know our guy G Sports is repping Tri Paris stand up. I know he's proud. Got a lot of good things to be proud of, though. Kyron Lacy's been creating separation. One of the big things that I say about him and about his game is just he's able to rock you to sleep off the line with his package, with his movement. And the next thing you know, boom, blink, and he's 40 yards down the field and he's making you miss. He's making you look stupid, quite frankly. But another takeaway that I've seen, the tight end room. We've been preaching that the tight end room is so different, and LSU hasn't had this in years. But guess what? It's true. You get to start things off with Mason Taylor, who's a first-round caliber player, period. He'll be playing on Sundays after next year if things go according to plan for Mr. Mason Taylor. But who's the second guy that they're going to throw in there? Is it going to be Mr. Trudez Green, who's 6'7", probably could jump out the gym, do a 360 windmill dunk? It's going to be Kamorian Pimpton, though. Another big, tall, vertical threat that I think really you're going to get to know his name pretty well throughout this season. Not to mention, you got plethora of weapons, whether it be Chris Hilton, whether it be, C.J. Daniels. Aaron Anderson got some love as well. You see Kyle Parker breaking away. And then not to mention, you still got Xavier Thomas, who, whenever he gets back going 100%, I think he'll be a weapon. Our guy Seth in the chat asking, is Zy Alexander taking full reps? He is. He's got the brace on. He's changed to number 14, so that's going to be a little bit of a visual for some of you. You've been used to him seeing him rep number 24. Now he'll be 10 digits lower, number 14, wearing the brace, looking good. I mean, he looks like he's trusting his body just about as much as you can at this point in the recovery period. We know that ACLs, they're finicky. Sometimes they don't heal properly in a sense where, like, you might not be on target. You might have to slowly wait your turn and just bide your time, and it's kind of what he's been doing. But now it looks like he's ready. He's been going in guarding starters, whether it be Chris Hilton. He's got some love against C.J. Daniels today. They're throwing him in the mix. They're letting him, fight and earn his spot, so to speak. I think, though, your cornerbacks that you're going to have to get used to more than likely. Number one, first things first, your cornerback one is Ashton Stamps by a landslide. Shout out Ashton Stamps because you're young and you've been in an inexperienced position, but you took it on the chin. Last season, you got rep after rep after rep, and it's showing. Now, fast forward, a year later, you got Corey Raymond on the sideline with you, just showing you exactly how you can take that mantra that he's been preaching to DBs his entire career and apply it to your game and get to Sunday football inevitably. I think Ashton Stamps is going to be an elite cornerback. You've seen a lot of flashes from him, whether it even be in his high school career. I mean, hell, there's a video of him guarding Justin Jefferson a few years ago, clamping up old Gritty, man. I feel like he's going to be able to kind of have some of those moments this year as well. Um, Another player that I want to give credit to on the DB side of things, Sage Ryan. I think it'll be Ashton Stamps and Sage Ryan as your pairing, at least for the foreseeable future, just because, they want to make sure that they can get things going a lot quicker. They're not saying that's going to be where Sage Ryan plays the entire year, and it might not even be where he plays the whole game. He might do that hybrid role and go back to a safety spot or this or that or the third. But with the way that the safeties and corners have been paired, it's looking like it'll be more of an Ashton and Sage pairing. Sage, I think, here's the thing about him. Yeah, he might be more comfortable at a safety spot. Yeah, you might not have thought he'd be a cornerback position, but even in the interview that we had with him, the way he's approaching the game, he's ready for it all. He's not necessarily cross-training. I don't want to use that word because it's making it seem like he's doing all the safety reps and all the cornerback reps. But what he is doing is he's learning the entirety of the defensive scheme. He's learning the entirety of the secondary, and he's applying that knowledge in a sense where I think it'll make him better. I feel like if you accept one of those uncomfortable positions and put yourself in, a little bit of water, you learn how to swim. And Sage Ryan this year, I believe he's going to learn how to swim. There's a couple other pieces of the defense that have changed and tweaked and kind of moved around. Of course, Major Burns moving a little closer to the line in the star position. I like that. I like that fit. I like seeing him alongside Greg Penn, Harold Perkins, and those beasts up front. In the secondary on the safety side, of course you see Jordan Gilbert. Of course you see guys like Jordan Allen. But another interesting, really unsaid DB is Toviano. I know there's been some issues and there's been some questions about Toviano, but from what I've gathered, he's not suspended. He's going to be reinstated and he's going to hit the ground running. So I think that's how you can get Sage Ryan back into his more comfortable position at safety is if Toviano hits the ground running, you can iron out those mishaps. And that would probably be what you move into in your cornerback pairing. You do still have J.K. Johnson. You do still have guys like P.J. Woodland. I think those are going to be more of your depth pieces that you look to, kind of gain experience with. I think JK could see the field maybe sooner than a guy like PJ. But if PJ gains weight and keeps doing what he's doing, geez, bro, you're going to have another elite corner that you can pair alongside someone like Ashton. But lastly, I do want to say, Ashton Stamps, you've been having a hell of a camp. I mean, you really had a hell of a season last year. I know people are scratching their heads at certain moments. You were a freshman getting put in a tough spot, and I think you performed very, very well. If you guys got any questions that you want answered, anything that you got on your mind regarding LSU football, drop it in the chat. I'll go ahead and address it. Give the stream a thumbs up. Thanks for watching once again. And we'll be doing this Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So hit the subscribe button. Our practice highlight video is downloading right now. We hit the lab. We edited it. We got it all together. And we'll be putting that out there in about 30 minutes. So stay tuned for that. Another thing that I kind of want to talk about, Chris Hilton Jr. We've been calling him the vertical threat, the deep threat, a threat that you can really look to get damn near 100 yards a game. He can almost get that in one damn catch because he's been going pretty much against elite competition his entire time at LSU. Even when he was on the bottom of the depth chart, he's still cutting his teeth. And now that he gets his moment to shine, you really get to see how he's been forged through the fire, so to speak. And I mean, look, a lot of people were thinking he was just going to be a deep threat and he's just going to be getting 40-yard passes, 30-yard passes. They've been incorporating him in the short pass game as well. What that tells me is they think highly of him, one, and two, that speed, he's going to be able to get it utilized in the sense of like a long handoff. He's going to kind of get that, like not Russian ability, but if you can get him in a 3-yard scheme and Nuss can check it down, dump it to him, not have to worry about reading any coverage, not have to worry about going through progressions, not have to worry about his protection sitting there. Now Chris can get, damn near 8 to 10 catches a game because he's in the short field. And plus that speed, that type of big play explosivity, that brings you from a screen pass, dump pass, RPO pass down the field. I mean, if you're running a slant like a Michael Thomas or something, you can get open repeatedly and be a problem for the defense, quite frankly, because you got a guy like Kyron Lacy who is going to have the attitude as a Keon Coleman. If you can't double me, you can't cover me. You're going to have to put so many bodies on so many people across this offense. And then guess what? Not to mention the run game. Not to mention the fact that the best offensive line in college football is in Baton Rouge. And then they've got a plethora of running backs, whether it be Josh Williams, whether it be John Emery, whether it be, it seems like LSU fans' favorite running back, Caleb Jackson. He's another big name that you're going to have to watch as well. There's wide receivers, there's tight ends, there's offensive linemen, there's running backs. You got a damn good quarterback in Garrett Nussmeier. This offense, I think, is the least of anybody's worries. This offense has been not only explosive for the greater part of, I'd say, hey, around 2 years, but they're probably going to keep pushing the pace, so to speak. We got Rylan in the chat saying, "Will we see changes week 1?" Now, changes in terms of like rotations, of course, you're going to see changes in week 1 because there's going to be some things that people learn. You're going to get to put them in a live setting, and you can't simulate things like this. So, will you see DB rotations change? Sure. Will you see a defensive line rotation change? Now, that's going to be all contingent on, quite frankly, health, because I think the guys that you've got in that side of it, in that position group, in that situation, those are the guys that you're kind of pretty much going to have to run with. Of course, Jacoby and Guillory is going to see the field damn near every snap, every game, all week long, God willing. Then you got other pieces like a Gio or, Javier Suggs. I've highlighted him a lot in this practice video, the transfer from Grand Valley State. That's going to be somebody that you're going to have to keep your eye on, number 31, because he's got so much size, but Bo Davis has already recognized the potential with him, and I think that, when you develop guys like that, you might not throw them out in week 1, you might keep, getting them used, getting them acclimated to this change of play, going from Grand Valley State to LSU, it'll kinda be a jump up, but once he gets used to things, then, yeah, I can see a change, like, in week 2 when you play nickels, then you can throw some things out there, throw some combos out there, and just really see what happens. Um then we got DN rotation. I think really the pieces on the end that you're going to have are the pieces that you've been used to, so to speak. You're going to see Savion Jones. You're going to see Woolmack. You're going to see Braden Swinson. You're going to see a lot of pieces here. Also, I'm not going to lie. I feel like I'm going to beat this drum one more time here while I got the opportunity. You're going to see Harold Perkins go outside and rush a quarterback. I know everyone's saying he's playing inside. I know everyone's saying this. He's developing. He is, and it's a good situation, and I think it'll only help Perk. But there are going to be packages where Harold Perkins chases a quarterback around the field and gets him down, throws him down, pushes him outside the pocket, gets him off his spot, makes him uncomfortable, creates some havoc. I don't think that is something you won't see. So I do want to kind of ease some of your nerves. I know there's kind of been some questions about that and just, how we're going to handle it. Um, but really from that standpoint, I feel like everything I've seen from practice has been positive. I know that there's been some things like with the DBs where and you'll get a good look at this in our highlight video coming out in about 30 minutes. The DBs do have some catching up to do in terms of staying competitive with the wide receivers. I mean, if you flash forward to last season, I did see, that the offense was leaps and bounds over the defense, and it happens. More often than not, great offense beats great defense just because playmakers are just playmakers are playmakers. And the wide receivers are pretty hard to guard in Baton Rouge. I mean, last year you see Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas catch damn near every pass thrown to them, and then this year you got Kyron Lacey and Chris Hilton and C.J. Daniels and a 6'7" tight end here and there. You got a lot of pieces that are going to make your head spin if you're a DB because it's a mismatch nightmare. And then you've got, a lot of things that you're going to have to keep in mind. What I like about that, what I like about seeing, and I know this might sound crazy, but what I like about seeing DBs kind of lose battles is that it's in practice. And Corey Raymond is right there filming it, visualizing it, correcting it. He's in the mix and he knows what to work on. And he knows we're about 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out from week 1, one of the biggest games of the season, quite frankly, because you're setting the standard. Everyone's going to be watching. Everyone's going to be saying LSU can't lose 5 years in a row in an opener, can they? So that this is the moment where pressure is going to hit. And can pressure make diamonds? And as we told Sherman Wilson back in our interview, pressure makes diamonds, and you put diamonds on championship rings, baby. So I think Corey Raymond is going to enjoy getting his DBs forged just because this is really the best experience they can get. Going against LSU wide receivers is some of the best competition you can get. You've got elite wide receivers across the board. Then, yeah, you're going to see some of this talent in other SEC schools. But the fact that you've got it here at home in your home base, you're going to be able to 100% utilize it, harness it to your ability. So when you watch this practice highlight video that we release, don't panic. Don't think, oh my God, the wide receivers are getting open every single time. Oh my God, the DBs are nowhere to be found. There was some DB action. There was some swats. Major Burns did have a moment where he deflected one and got it out of the way. And there was, of course, a couple of other moments. But I just wanted to kind of give that little caution label before we watch this highlight video, just because I think we are at a point right now where the offense is better than the defense. And I guess if I had to pick, I'd rather that. I'd rather your offense be able to burn your defense. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, but I just want to see some, 35, 45-point games this year again. I don't want to see the defense give up 50 points and then we lose. I don't think we're in that bad of a spot. I don't think LSU's in a spot where they can continuously get worse, get worse, get worse. I don't think that that's possible. Now, look, I could be wrong, but going from the 106 defense, it seems like the ceiling is only, possible. You can't really just keep climbing down and down and down. There's not First off, there's so much talent across the board. Even last year's defense, there's so much talent. You see all those guys, 3 defensive linemen drafted. You see some DBs get signed. You had a lot of talent that you could have utilized. Now, how it didn't get utilized is not up to me to debate. I'm not the coach. I'm not getting paid millions of dollars, and I'm not experienced nor qualified enough to give my judgment on what personnel should have been there. However, what I will say is the coaches that are in there now, whether it be Corey Raymond, whether it be Coach Peoples, Coach Baker, Coach Davis, they know. They understand. They've got the caliber. Blake Baker and Peoples just coming from Mizzou, who's a top 10 defense. Bo Davis just coming from Texas, who had a shot to be able to go deep. I feel like pairing all of that together and putting it into a situation where your back's against the wall will only result in one thing. I mean, there's a lot of people with chips on their shoulders, sure, and you can only really utilize that so much. But when you've got a team that has nothing to lose, where last year they had a great opportunity and it really didn't pan out, I think that this is quite frankly, one of the only things they're focusing on is proving everybody wrong, getting to their potential, getting ironed out into their scheme. And I feel like it's going to be a work in progress. I wouldn't panic if it doesn't pan out the exact way that you'd want. But I do think LSU is going to be in a good situation. I do think they win against USC. We will be going to Vegas. We will be covering that, so stay tuned. I feel like, though, the really only question marks that you're going to have on this season and on this schedule and matchup-wise are going to be games like Ole Miss, games like Alabama, maybe on the road against A&M, your tough, regular SEC opponents. But even if you take those being your 3 toughest games, Ole Miss, Bama, A&M, really only see them losing 1. And at most, even if you lose 2, you go 10-2. It's probably a college football playoff berth. Seems like this thing is going to be pretty. We've used the term wide open once before. I'll use it again. College football playoff is wide open. I think LSU's in a situation to be able to make some noise here. Not just because their offense is going to carry them. Not just because their offense is going to help the defense be in the a little bit less of a pressure setting. But I think the defense is going to answer the bell. They're going to answer the call. They're going to actually, fill into the role and play that level of defense that you have expected, whether it be Jacoby Guillory, Savion Jones, Harold Perkins, Greg Penn, Major Burns, Sage Ryan, or our guy Ashton Stamps, who's joining the party. You got a lot of big names. You got a lot of talent. You got a lot of people that you could expect to play Sunday football. But only time will tell. I don't want to tell everybody LSU's starting 5-0, winning 11 games, and have y'all hold me to it. But I really do think that is going to be the situation. I really do think that's going to be the outcome. Only because it's kind of hard to see them grow. And at least on the offensive side of things, they've been stemming and replacing so well that it seems like the program is at that level now. That Brian Kelly, his coaching staff, just that whole facility and administration as a whole, they're able to keep up with the top of college football. I believe the coaches poll came out today and LSU debuted at number 12. You know what that means? You're debuting into the college football playoff. You're debuting as the playoff berth seed. Is it the best? No. Is it the spot that we're probably going to finish at? Also no. But this is what the country is saying, is that LSU, as of right now, before we've seen anything, before we've seen them play USC, before we've seen Garrett Nussmeier, before we've seen the DB rooms, we know what this team is capable of, and that's the college football playoff. So shout out LSU getting number 12. I wanted to announce that one as well. And I think that that's indicative of how the entire country views this squad, how the entire country views this program, and how they view Brian Kelly. I know there's been a lot of questions on if Brian Kelly's elite, on if Brian Kelly can compete with guys like Kirby Smart. I think that this year he's going to be able to put those noise makers to bed just because, you're hitting the recruiting hard. And did you hit the transfer portal hard? No, but that's not his thing. He doesn't want to have to buy players. He doesn't want to have to go through that, interesting situation, if you will. And that's neither here nor there. A lot of people are going to disagree about it. A lot of people are going to kind of get confused about it, but it's just because they want to see instant results. They want to see things now, now, now. But when you put it in hindsight, year one going to the SEC title, year two getting a Heisman quarterback, and then year three, if they keep going on the incline and steadily building as it looks like they are, I think that the next step is a college football playoff. And I think that LSU really has a big chance to utilize this and realize that dream, quite frankly. I'm going to go ahead and end this stream here. I appreciate all the people in it today. I mean, we've had probably one of our biggest streams we've had in a while. So before y'all hop out of here, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Come back on our stream tomorrow. We'll give you a practice report. We're going to get a lot of notes. We'll probably be out there for about an hour and a half. I'm going to give you all the information you need. Drop a comment in the stream on what you want to see, if it's the defensive line, if it's the defensive backs. It could be damn punters. If you want to see the punters, we're going to cover the punters for you. We're going to get you the information that you need, that you desire. So go ahead, drop your comments below. And remember, practice highlights are coming out right now. In about 30 minutes. Before 1 o'clock, we're going to have them things up. I've been having them uploading in the other room while we've been hustling doing this. Also, while I got you on here, I know that the times have been changing. We've been going live at 11, but the practices have been coinciding with that. And then in about 2 weeks, we're going to be starting school again, our senior year at LSU. So we're going to kind of have to change up a little times. I think we're going to start going live in the morning. We're going to do an early morning show. We'll probably do it at 7 a.m., but wait for the confirmation. As of right now, pencil it in. Verdin Verdict, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 a.m. We'll be moving to that slot in a few weeks, about 2 weeks, so to speak. But thank you, everybody, for joining the stream today. It means a lot. I appreciate us, growing this community. We're going to keep doing it, though. We ain't done. Trust me, we are not done. Real quick, I'll answer Corey's question in the chat. He dropped, how does quarterbacks look? So Garrett Nussmeier looks good. I think Garrett Nussmeier is really performing as a starting quarterback in a sense where he's the leader of the team. He's not, like just a guy on the sideline soaking it all up, just trying to fight for his reps, fight for his name as he used to be. Now he just gets to take control of it and really make it what he needs it to be, in a sense where that offense is going to be built around him. The schemes are going to be built around him. When he gets in the game, he's not going to have to gel into a situation that was made for another quarterback. Now he's going to get to put his flavor on it, so to speak. And I think that that'll come with, its pluses and its minuses. The minuses might be people might get scared at first. People might doubt him at first. People might be worried if an interception pops up here or there. Guess what? That's life. That's football. When you got a gunslinger like Garrett Nussmeier, it might happen. The pluses are you're going to see consistent passes across the board. Plus, I don't think you're going to see a drop-off from what you saw last year. Those pluses outweigh those minuses by a landslide. So I think Garrett Nussmeier looks great. Ricky Collins, he's going to be your backup guy. He's going to be your backup quarterback. He's going to be the dude that you look to if something does unfortunately happen. I think Ricky is really mobile. You can trust his arm, but he's still a younger guy. The decision making, the poise, the confidence, that might be a little bit of a drawback on him. But you never know. He might be able to hit the ground running. He might be able to be confident. He might be able to fit into the scheme. Joe Sloan did recruit him, did get really, 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 comfortable with him, so to speak. So I think that they might be able to gel. They might be able to get together and make something work. Then AJ Swan, he's had his moments. He's going to be a decent pocket passer, but I think that there's something about him, I think, it reminds me of Miles Brennan a little bit. I don't know if it's the number. I don't know what it is, but I think he's a very good, experienced, talented quarterback. I just think the decision here has to be Ricky's the two. Ricky's the guy that you'll put out there. Ricky's the guy that you're going to trust with that. And, going forward in the future, LSU's going to have some decisions to make, because when Bryce Underwood comes to campus, it's going to shake some things up. It'll be interesting. Colin Hurley also, he's had his reps. He's had his moments. He threw a pick to Perk, I believe, on day 2. That one was kind of like well, you're going to have to learn and grow through these type of moments. Hey, you never lose, though, baby. You only learn. So I think the quarterback's, though, looking pretty good. The offense is looking great as a whole. No complaints. Defense is going to need some work, but that's as expected. Once again, thank everybody for joining the stream. Before you hop out, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We'll be live again tomorrow, breaking down practice. We'll have a lot more coverage for you. Comment below the things that you want to see. Then, lastly, we got our highlight video coming out I'd say in about 30 minutes. So hit the notification bell whenever it drops. Notification straight to your phone. Hop in the video and enjoy. One-on-ones, wide receivers and DBs are going to start the video off. Then we're going to move into the D-line depth. Then we're going to move into the defensive back room. Thank you, guys. Thank Happy Dad. Thanks for joining the squad. Remember, Happy Dad is now available in Louisiana. It's your best taste of hard seltzer, bro. Gluten-free, low in sugar. It's got great flavor, too. My favorite's the wild cherry. I've been cracking that open on the golf course, trying to beat the Louisiana heat here. But if you need to find Happy Dad, you know where to go. Rouse's, Walmart, Albertsons. Tell them the Verdin Verdict sent you. Tell them the Verdin Verdict sent you to go get some Happy Dad hard seltzer. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate everybody. And we'll see you again tomorrow.